play ball like a girl!
Well, you kind of throw like a girl. But when a girl is as beautiful as you, she doesn't have to be good.
Wait, what?
On The Future is Female, hosted by Sarandon, Raboin, Gabby Ducharme, and Nicole Pinter, we believe that everyone should know how to throw like a girl.
Tune in to our show every Saturday morning at 10 a.m. to hear the latest on what's going on with women's sports and women in sports.
Hello there, and welcome here into the Bill Austin Radio Studio. I'm your host, Nicole Pinter. Alongside me is Gabby Ducharme and Sarandon Raboin.
What's up, guys?
Got a big show for you today. We're talking ASU baseball as the only undefeated team left. ASU softball 23-8 and ranked 18th. Kobe Bryant opening up something new for his daughter and his daughter's basketball program. Mike Trout's deal and NCAA women's swimming. But first, we're starting with the obvious topic, March Madness.
The
Guys,
big dance.
The big dance.
Wow.
How are you guys' brackets doing?
I'm struggling. I'm muddling along mightily. I picked UCI to win.
I did too.
I picked UCI. Go Anteaters. I'm working for them this summer.
I got UC Irvine, oh my God, and Oregon. So got that. Cincy really let me down.
Cincy should have won that game. They should have. They totally should have.
I mean, I gotta be honest. I didn't think the Big Ten would do what they did. Way to go, Wisconsin. Way to mess it up.
Mm-hmm.
We were almost undefeated. But Maryland and LSU are actually playing right now. I had Belmont over Maryland because I just genuinely didn't, they lost to Nebraska in the Big Ten tournament.
Okay.
So now it's just go Big Ten. But
Very nice.
Some decent upsets, but nothing
Liberty.
like...
Who
Liberty.
would have thought
I picked
Liberty?
Liberty.
I actually picked
game.
Liberty.
I
picked Liberty.
You picked a play-in game.
Yeah.
Yep. No, Liberty wasn't a playing game.
No, they weren't.
They were a 12 seed.
Oh, my bad.
Liberty, I have a good friend who goes to Liberty University, and I was texting her. I was like, hey, I have them in my bracket. She was like, you have them in your what? I was like, do you know what March Madness is? She's like, yes, the basketball thing. I was like, okay, yeah, sure, you can refer to it as a thing. But yes, I did have Liberty in that game.
Wow.
You know what's funny about March, though? You know what two brackets are doing the best for me? Not the ones I really picked.
Yeah.
Yes, the fun
They're
ones.
always
best
that one.
tradition and best
That's
mascot
why-
are currently doing the best for me
That's
right now.
why
Yes.
I always try to make, a fun one. I change up the way, the qualification for the fun one all the time. Some classics are mascots. Some classics
mascot.
are, but it's
I had Oregon winning that
mascots.
one.
But it's mascots, but Hunger Games style.
Oh my God.
Where
yeah,
it's
who would
to the
win?
death.
To the death.
And who would win. You could also go with within mascots, you pick all the dogs. I heard someone did that a couple years ago.
See, when I did mascot, I did best mascot, the Oregon Duck.
Yeah.
And
I mean, Puddles is gonna win every time.
Right. Sadly, Michigan was out in the first round because we don't have a mascot. We tried to back in the day, but having live Wolverines isn't the best idea.
Yeah.
But if you had a dog mascot, you immediately moved on. It was without question.
Right.
So
because dogs are awesome.
so the Georgia Bulldogs won the national title even if they weren't even in the NCAA tournament in your eyes?
No, that was a Gonzaga.
Oh, that's
It was
Gonzaga.
Oregon versus Gonzaga, and I was like, oh, but Puddles.
But
Puddles.
So it was still actually. Let me look at it. Hold on.
When I went to the NCAA tournament for women's basketball, one of my coverage team members, Emmy, she got proposed to by Puddles.
Yeah. And
did she say yes though?
That's what I tweeted her.
That's what
I exactly tweeted her. I was like, but did you say yes? And she was like, still thinking about it. I'm like, that's
Why
not
are
an
you
answer.
thinking about it? That's the
it's
wrong
a
answer.
yes.
I know.
You shouldn't have to think about it.
It should be an automatic
yes, absolutely.
200 out of 200 times.
Yes.
Right.
Every time
you
over.
You get proposed by Puddles, that boy's gonna treat you right.
I know.
No, my mascot Final Four is LSU because they have a live tiger and tigers are cool.
Yes.
Versus Gonzaga because
Roar.
dogs. And then I had Oregon because Puddles, Washington because Huskies. Oh my God, they're so cute. That was tough.
Cute.
That one was tough.
What about
Oregon versus Gonzaga?
I guess they aren't technically in the NCAA tournament, but
Who?
what about UCLA, the Bruins? Joe Bruin?
What, a bear?
Yeah, a
Nah.
bear. No?
No. Dogs.
Well,
No, dogs.
Getting back to the actual tournament. Yeah, the actual tournament. What were your guys' thoughts on ASU's performance?
St. John's not bad. St. John's couldn't shoot for they just couldn't shoot. So I think we got a little lucky there with St. John's. Maybe shouldn't have been in the tournament, but we also shouldn't have. So, there's that. But I think St. John's, decent performance. Buffalo started off good. They were calling pretty easy fouls, though. They were like, from what I saw, and then Buffalo, once they got a hold of them, they just took off and never looked back. I think for getting a tournament win, yay, but, it was the same old ASU team, so it's kind of the same old reaction.
Right, but at the same time, like, as I saw Michaela Perkins tweeted this out yesterday, it's like, live by the 3, die by the 3, and they couldn't hit a freaking 3. So
3 for 23 to be exact.
Exactly. So, I
Ouch.
mean, if you, like, consistently, do well and try to, hit 3s in your regular season games, and that's your game plan, that's your main form of scoring points is hitting 3s, you have to make sure you hit them in the tournament. You can't just not be successful in that aspect if that's a main part of your game plan.
Right.
Like, and my dad was talking to me about this the other day where it was, if the game is changing, where 3s are becoming, much more integral than they were 10 to 15 years ago.
Oh, absolutely.
100%.
Absolutely.
I mean, you look at the NBA, Steph Curry, what he's done with the game in itself with, like, 3s is just insane.
Oh, yeah.
So that's now translating to college ball. And so it's like, if you are not on with your 3s, you will not win in the tournament. It's almost at that extreme.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
They couldn't hit yeah.
Honestly, when I saw that ASU team play Buffalo, my first thought was, this is a mid-major school. We beat Kansas. We can beat Buffalo. We can. And then
Don't
I watched
doubt the mid-majors, man.
What's
wrong with the mid-majors?
I would just think,
I'd
like,
vote for
a
the
team that
underdogs all
finishes
the time.
second
Yeah, same here.
in the Pac-12, gets to the semifinals of the Pac-12 tournament, multiple possible NBA players on this team, I would think you could get to at least the round of 32 with a squad like this. But when I saw them muddling along, I mean, Buffalo couldn't miss yesterday in the second half. They couldn't miss.
I mean, and you have to give credit where credit's due.
Oh,
Like,
absolutely.
Buffalo's a good team.
It
They
was
are
a
a
good
good
team.
team.
They played well. Like, congratulations. Rooting for you on the next round.
Buffalo,
I know.
Did you know Buffalo's the best team in Arizona? Did you know? Beat Arizona last year, beat ASU this year. Like, give us more.
Oh, yeah, exactly.
No, but
Or
looking at the box score, in all honesty, I mean, Dort was just trying to hit those 3s so hard. Oh my God,
How many did he attempt?
7.
Oh, good Lord.
He
How
got
many
one.
did he... Oh, okay.
See?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, he was 3 for 3 from the free throw line. Like, honestly, not bad from the free throw line, which is surprising, like, for this team. But just trying to hit those 3s and they're not working, you have to change up your game plan. And they didn't. And I don't think Hurley knows. He knows, but, like, there were no changes were made from the first half. And granted, like, it was a 44-31. Like, it was still winnable at that point.
Right.
Like, a comeback needed to be made, but it was still winnable.
And that's where I think it comes down to, mentality.
Yeah.
Especially when it comes to coaching. And, you hear this is like, people talk about this about Nick Saban all the time. It's like, if he's down in the first half, he makes a change. You can see it. Like, especially in the national championships a couple of years ago when he put took Tua out or put Tua in.
Put Tua in.
Put Tua in. Thank you. I was like getting it mixed up. But so I didn't
because they've
see...
done it vice versa.
I know,
too.
right?
Yeah.
I know.
That's so unpredictable. I mean...
Exactly. And
What
so,
a
like,
story, though.
Yeah.
like, you didn't
What if I
see
told you?
a change in mentality. You didn't see a change in fire, like, in passion there.
Yeah,
And
I
I think
agree.
that's, like, the main difference between if you're going to be winning and being successful in the big dance and being not, like, successful. It's just how much do you physically want it? Like, can you, like just put everything into it? And I'm not saying that they didn't, because obviously when you're at that situation, it's a lot harder than,
and these guys,
just us
these
talking
guys,
about it.
These
Yeah.
guys fight hard.
They fight hard. But
it's coaching.
And
I'm
honestly,
sorry.
at that level, it's like
It's coaching.
you either have it or you don't.
Yeah.
But in all honesty, it's like with this team, you just said it perfectly. You either you have it or you don't. This team, it always felt like they were so close to having it, but they never actually got it. Like they beat Arizona. That's awesome. You know, they beat Kansas. Huge victory, you know, right before Christmas in Tempe. All these different things. You know, you beat Kansas last year. They have these little spurts and these little highlights where you're like, this team could be in the Sweet 16. This team could be in the Elite 8 even. But then they go and they lose to teams like Washington. They play down to their competition.
State.
Yeah, Washington State.
Utah.
Yeah, Utah. They play down to their competition, and I think that's kind of the difference between. That's the difference between like you have it or you don't have it. The teams who don't have it play to their competition. The teams who have it, like you said, they play consistently night in and night out. This team, I mean, not playing consistently night in and night out, that's not a recipe to win a national championship.
Right.
Yeah. So before our Final Four predictions, there's something going around on Twitter mostly. I don't know if you've seen it. Tom Izzo, I honest to God forget which player he was yelling at, but he was yelling at a player. He had to be restrained a little bit. I want to get your guys' take. Was that abuse or was that coaching?
I honestly haven't seen it.
Okay.
So
Well, I'm going to pull it up right now.
Let's explain it to the viewers.
Okay. So basically what happened was, again, I'm really blanking on the player, but he was yelling at a player he was missing shots. He wasn't doing what he should have been doing, and he had to be physically restrained. Like he had a fist. He was red hot. If you haven't seen it, just look up Tom Izzo yelling on Twitter, like I have up for Sarandon right now.
The player's name is Foster Lawyer.
No, that's not what I have. I have Aaron Henry.
Yeah.
So he was screaming, freshman forward, Aaron Henry. And
Oh,
Izzo
no,
said
never mind. That was last week.
Izzo said he's not sorry about it. So look it up. Just see it. What did you think? Actually, here, I got it for you.
Wow. Well, it's just, you know, I get that coaches get, you know, impassioned and they want the best for their players and they want their players to do well. But there's a certain level of, you know, respect that you have to have towards your players. Because you have to understand, coaching-wise, these kids are 20, 22, like, max. Like, they are young. They don't understand, you know, kind of the same worldview that these coaches do. They aren't as mature as these coaches. So I think there's a specific way that you can, you know, talk to a player and, you know, coach them up, because there's a difference between coaching them up and coaching them down. And it looks like he was coaching them down. He's berating them. He's, you know, tearing them down instead of building them up, because there's a way to say, like, listen, like, Sarandon, you got to do better. You have to, you know, make these, you're better than this. And there's a difference between, like, Sarandon, you're just a piece of blank, you know, can't do anything. Why are you on this team?
Yeah.
There's a complete difference. And, like, in my experience, those coaches who do know those differences and understand how to coach players up are more successful and are able to, you know, gain the respect of the team rather than a coach that just flat out yells at you.
And I feel like you make a really good point. This idea that, like, coaches should be almost like relating to their players. Coaches should be trying to connect with their players rather than treating them as if you're just trying to force them to do something. You should be trying to connect with them. You should be trying to form that bond with them. And I don't know, I really think what Tom Izzo did in the moment, I will say his emotions were probably heightened, obviously, because this is NCAA basketball. Right. But at the end of the day,
it was a close game with a 15 seed.
I know. But at the end of the day, you're looking at a young man. When the way that you act to this young man on and off the court, it's going to influence him long term. So many times players talk about how this coach, you know, was a father figure to me. This coach was such a guiding light in my development on and off the basketball court.
On the other side, I've heard players say that this coach made me want to quit, and this coach made me quit and give up this sport.
His players have defended him.
Right.
Yeah.
So I disagree with both of you. I think it's coaching.
You think it's coaching?
I think it's one. Now he's been seen doing this a lot, and I think he's one person on Twitter I've seen him compared to Beeline. Now it takes a lot for Beeline to get mad. Like, him being thrown out in the Penn State game hasn't happened in, like, decades. Like, he has never been thrown out. Mm-hmm. So I think there's two different styles of coaching. It's Izzo's and Beeline's, I think. And both are very respected. And I personally don't have a problem with what Izzo did. I don't have a problem until he had to be restrained and he had like a fist. Then it's kind of like, okay, hold on. Like, slow down. You're in the heat of the moment. But it is coaching. If you've never been like, coached like that,
right?
Then you probably never made the playoffs. Like, honestly, I saw one of my friends actually just tweet that. But I had a coach like that, and I actually did leave that team when it became too much for me. But now I'm back, and now he's just, he's still a great coach, but he won't crack down on things like he used to. He won't take BS like he used to. Well, so I don't have a problem with it.
Honestly, I mean, and I'm also speaking from a perspective of like I coached swim like all throughout high school.
I would never coach my kids like that.
And
that's just one style of coaching.
And I can honestly say that I've seen it before where like our big like head coach or whatever, our big head coach would try the whole like cracking down on kids, especially like kids who are around high school age. He would try to crack down on them. He would try to yell at them to force them to do what he wanted. But at the end of the day, the kids responded better when the coach tried to relate to them, when the coach tried to break down the walls, tried to figure out, okay, what's going on with this kid? How do we fix this? Not, hey, this is what you should be doing. Now just do it. Like I've seen it like from the coaching perspective at least, and I know it's different. NCAA Division I men's college basketball tournament, this is the biggest stage of this young player's career. I understand that, but I don't know, just from my personal experience, I think a player relating better to the coach really stepping up and taking responsibility, like helping the player to navigate through whatever emotions they're feeling in that moment. I think that's more effective than just screaming at the player and making a fist at him, like almost like attempting to use physical violence against him to get him to do what you want.
Right. I mean, I'm not against yelling at players. I definitely think, there's a time and place for when a player needs to be put in the right headspace. And
absolutely.
Maybe, yelling at them like helps, but you should never, ever threaten physical violence against a player. Like,
no,
ever.
Never. And
you are
and
like
that's when what I'm seeing is when he was being restrained, they restrained him to be like, hey, let's move on, make the next play, and move on from this.
Right.
But I mean, that's like we have a problem with a coach yelling at a player. Like, seriously, like, come on.
Right. That's not what I have a problem with. I have a problem with the violence.
But there was no violence.
Right. But like if he's like getting in your face, when you see coaches go against refs and you see that they're like this close, like an inch away from each other in the face, like, and something's about to like happen, that kind of tension.
Yeah.
That's where it gets iffy for me. I'm like,
I get
cool
that.
down a bit.
Yeah.
Like, this is not that serious of an issue where you look like you're about to take like a single swing if like he blinks at you wrong.
Yeah. Yeah, I get that. I mean, I'm
not saying that there was violence. I'm not saying that there was intent. I'm saying there should never be that. You shouldn't put yourself in that situation.
Right. And I do agree with that. I think, I still think it's coaching. I still think it's fine. But when he flinched, when it almost looked like he might do something, I do agree with you that there is a problem there. But, yeah, I think, they're moving on to the tournament. We're moving on from this.
Right.
Before we move on to the women's and go to a quick break, what are your guys' Final Four predictions? I know we're a week late on this, but we didn't have the brackets last week.
You're right.
That's true. That is very true.
So I'll start just because mine is boring. I have all the 1 seeds. Okay. Like, I do, of course I have one bracket where Michigan wins. But I think what Michigan's going to run into a problem is Gonzaga and their inability to finish games. I think that's where they run into problems, and Gonzaga's just really, really good if you haven't found out. I like Duke.
In case you haven't noticed, they've been in the top 4 since November.
Right, and I like Duke versus Gonzaga. I see no reason Duke doesn't come out of the East. And then I like Virginia, North Carolina. Virginia almost lost to a 16 seed again yesterday. Yes, I was rooting for that, like you all should have been.
Did you see UNBC was like, why are we getting DMs again? Or like mentions. And I was like,
I love UNBC's Twitter. If you didn't keep following them after last year, you're lost.
Yeah.
But
honestly.
And then someone's got to figure out Duke, right? Someone has to, and it might be UCF tomorrow. But
Well, they've
I
already
like-
been figured out a few times.
A few
Virginia
times.
Tech.
Yeah, but they were without Zion, weren't they?
I think they were with Zion.
I don't know.
Someone-
But I like
Gonzaga
they
also
did
beat them
lose.
early in the season.
I like
They
Gonzaga,
did
Virginia,
lose.
because I really don't want to see Duke, UNC a fourth time, and I like Gonzaga. I think go Zags. I don't know. I think they're the best team, and they showed it yesterday.
Not gonna lie, that is kind of boring. You're picking all 4 1 seeds.
That's gross.
Yeah,
What?
it
You
is.
have like Colgate going? Obviously, you don't now, but
No,
I don't
you-
know what else to do. There's no reason I don't see the 1 seeds coming out, and
Okay,
I don't trust Tennessee.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Go ahead.
Sorry.
Okay, you wanna know what my Final Four is? So in like my main bracket, I actually have Michigan coming out. I have Duke coming out
Of course, I'm going to be rooting for them. Sorry. Go ahead.
because I'm not gonna bet against I'm not betting against Zion Williamson. That
No
kid
one
is
is.
a once in a generation
I don't
talent.
think they lose until the Final Four.
Yeah.
If they
No.
lose.
No, I don't even know. I don't even think they're gonna lose in the Final Four. I have
I'm just saying I think it's gonna be until then that
Yeah.
they
I
don't know,
lose.
we'll
I
see
think they're
tomorrow.
gonna we'll
Well,
see. I mean, knock on wood that UCF upsets them.
UCF.
Well-
UCF, you want to do us a solid?
Yeah.
I have I have Duke making it to the Final Four. God
Okay.
forbid something happened tomorrow against UCF.
Duke, Michigan.
Duke, Michigan, and then I have Villanova coming out.
Of course you do.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Oh yeah. I am not betting against the defending national champions.
Okay.
I watched them play yesterday against
St. Mary's.
They
St.
almost
Mary's.
lost though.
I
Yeah.
know they almost lost. It wasn't pretty, but that's Villanova basketball. The wins aren't always pretty, but they always find a way to make it happen. I don't want to bet against Jay Wright. I think the tradition and the culture that he's built up with that program, I mean, it's second to none in all of college basketball. It's on par with Mike Krzyzewski and Roy Williams and Boeheim and Izzo. It's on par with
Beeline.
Beeline. Sorry, I said Boeheim. My bad. Beeline.
I mean, he's a great coach too, but go on. What's
But
your
anyways,
fourth team?
and my fourth team is North Carolina. And
Okay.
I have Duke, North Carolina in the finals. I'm rooting for that
That's
matchup.
boring. Mm-hmm. What do you mean my Final Four is boring? I don't want to see Duke UNC a fourth time.
I would rather see Villanova go on a run and lose to North Carolina, and then I want to see Duke, North Carolina for a fourth time. I want to see how Zion plays in the biggest game of his career thus far.
Yeah, Zion.
right.
Can we trust Zion under the lights? Sarandon, what's your thoughts on your Final Four?
My Final Four. I got Duke because obviously.
Because obvious reasons.
Because obvious reasons.
Sigh.
I do have Tennessee.
I don't trust Tennessee. I don't.
They almost lost last night to a 15 seed.
Colgate.
Yeah.
And toothpaste.
It doesn't matter.
All right, who
don't know.
other two before we go to a really quick break?
Let's see. I got Gonzaga,
Okay.
and I'm gonna go with UNC as well.
All right, who's top two?
Top two.
Yeah, and then your champion.
Let's do Gonzaga and Duke.
All right, who's
Because
your
I don't
champion?
want to see
Quick
UNC.
champion, and then we will head
Let's
to.
go. Let's go with Gonzaga. Underdogs.
Thank you. Go Zags.
Zags.
Go Dogs. All
I'm
right.
always an underdog.
I love underdogs. That's
Love
why I cheer for upsets. All right, when we
Yes.
come back, we'll talk really quick ASU in the women's tournament, that somewhat controversial NCAA ad, and ASU baseball here on The Future is Female. Welcome back from that really short break. I hope you're still here because it was like 10 seconds.
Yeah.
We're talking women's tournament now, going on as we speak, first round. ASU defeated UCF in Florida at the U, won 60-45. Courtney Ekmark led with 20 points, 8 of 13 field goals, and they will see. I didn't see the end of that game, but Miami was winning, so they're seeing Miami in the next round, right?
Yes.
Okay,
they are.
cool.
Yes, they
I
are.
wrote that because they were up, and I was like, yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Women's
Honest-
tournament. UConn's a 2 seed.
Yeah.
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 They bullied poor Towson. 110-61.
Yeah. 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 That's the
Poor
UConn way.
Tigers. Poor Tigers. All right. Thoughts, women's tournaments, go.
Gabby,
Oh,
this
gosh.
is your wheelhouse. You
This is-
start us off.
Honestly, I mean, I'm gonna start off with ASU. I mean,
course.
I have them going to the Sweet 16. I think they can make it that far. Then they're gonna run into a very, very, very strong Mississippi State team. They're gonna run into the number 1 seed at that point. But right now the team looks great. The team looks better than they've looked all season. Ekmark is firing on all cylinders. Ibis and Richardson are back. You know, the this three-headed monster that they really have on this team of Courtney Ekmark, Riley Richardson, their starting point guard, Kiana Ibis, their superstar power forward, who's probably going to be a WNBA player this time next year. I mean, if ASU can play like they did yesterday, if they can play like that against Miami tomorrow, they're going to face the 5 seed. It's going to be a tough game. I'm not going to lie. It's going to be their hardest game probably of the season. And honestly, I'm still a little bit salty, though, that they are a 5 seed and not a 4 seed, because if you are a top 4 seed in the women's tournament, you get to host the first 2 rounds of the tournament.
Oh, man, that would have been nice.
It would have been really nice.
See, if ASU men's were in the NIT, we would have had home games.
Dang it.
ASU to
you know,
the NIT,
well,
just saying. All right, women's tournament.
well, honestly, I
Who is
think
the 4
I
seed?
think ASU did play. They played really well yesterday. They did. I think they were up against a team that they should have beaten, 12 seed in UCF. I will say the fact that they had to travel across the country, the fact that they are in, and I quote from Charlie Turner Thorne herself, she said, Pac-12 is the best conference in all of women's college basketball. The Pac-12 has 6 schools in the NCAA tournament this year. That is, I'm pretty sure that's the most out of any conference in the country, which is just absolutely insane. I don't know. I think ASU has a very, very good shot to be playing in Portland in the Sweet 16 next weekend. They got to take care of business tomorrow, though, against University of Miami. I watched the last part of Miami, the Miami game last night. I was actually out with some family, and it was on. And Miami's big. They're really big. Arizona State does not have a lot of height on that front line, but they are still a very, very tough defensive team and a very tough rebounding team. What are you guys' thoughts? How far do you think the Sun Devils can go? What are your thoughts on this women's tournament thus far?
I think so far, the biggest, shock is that a coach said that they wanted to kidnap a UConn women's basketball player, which was phenomenal.
I think that's
It
a great
beautiful.
strategy, and I don't see any problems with it.
Exactly. Aside from the legality of it and the danger.
I still don't see. No.
I mean, technically, is it technically kidnapping if you're like
hey, whatever it takes.
if you're like over 18 and like for basketball purposes, like where does that fall on like the kidnapping scale? Just we just need to borrow her for a couple
With
of hours.
the
Whatever it
NCAA,
takes.
it probably would be okay too.
Oh, absolutely. I would totally root for it. If I were to wake up.
Wait, did you just say you'd root for a kidnapping?
No, not for a kidnapping. I would
For the
I would root.
NCAA to allow a kidnapping.
I would root for the
I
NCAA to
agree.
allow it because of all the other stuff that they allow. No,
Which I'll get to in a hot sec.
We will.
I could totally see I would laugh my head off if Katie Lou Samuelson, UConn's superstar, one of the major pieces of that team, if she woke up the next morning in a Buffalo uniform playing on the opposite end of the court. 'Cause
What? Shh, it's fine.
It's fine.
No, but can you imagine now I'm going through all these weird scenarios of these superstars get traded during the Final Four or through the
You know what
entire
I think we're
tournament?
talking about? Space Jam?
Oh, we totally
Stop.
are. Oh, we totally are.
I mean, am I wrong? No.
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 But
But now
As-
I feel sad because it's not as an original idea as I thought it was going to be.
yeah, sorry about that. Space Jam did it first.
Space Jam is always the one to do it first.
But
But-
I agree with you, Gabby. I have ASU to the Sweet 16. I have them running into a really tough Mississippi State team, and I don't think they make it out of there. My Final Four is, again, kind of boring.
UConn.
But Baylor, Mississippi State, Notre Dame, UConn.
Honestly,
But
on
I think
the
UConn, Baylor versus UConn gets revenge. UConn 71-67.
honestly on the but and I completely agree with you. On the women's end, it's always boring because the women's top teams are so dominant.
Yeah.
So dominant.
We don't see as many upsets.
No, we don't.
Right.
We really don't. And honestly, I mean, UConn as a number 2 seed, the head coach of Buffalo was the one who made that comment about wanting to kidnap a player from UConn. She said it perfectly. UConn's the best team in the country. They've been the most dominant program in all of college basketball, men's and women's. They've been the most dominant program for the last 2 decades.
I would say most college team in general. I
Oh.
think they rival Alabama for how dominant they've been.
Oh, they
The women's,
absolutely
yeah.
do. They absolutely do.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and honestly, I mean, we'll we'll see how they do. I mean, Arizona State, I will say this team has been they've been tested this season. They have risen to the occasion a little bit. They've faced off against top-ranked Stanford, top-ranked Notre Dame, top-ranked Baylor, top-ranked Louisville. These are all teams that are basically in the top 2 seedings and above. They faced, Oregon, but have they beaten any of those teams this season? No, they have not.
Oh, that was such a quiet no. They were like, no.
I didn't know the answer to that, so.
Yeah, I was like, did they?
No.
Oh my God, did they, Gabby? No. Oh.
No.
Of
course
not.
not.
But I do, I agree. They're a tested team. No, they didn't win those games. But every team's different in March. And I think that goes for men's and women's. Kansas, everyone's like, they're going to lose to Northeastern. And then they come out and dominate. And it's like, what? They were going to lose to Northeastern? That's cute.
Yeah.
They faced a tough Auburn team, actually, who almost lost to New Mexico State, who almost got her 4 out of 4 12 seeds beating 5 seeds. But I think, going back to the women's, I think, AC with 5 seed did not lose to a 12 seed. Playing Miami will be tough. Playing on their home court will be tough. But I think they can rise to the occasion. I think it will be a close game. I think AC will pull it out.
Yeah, I think they will too. This CTT, the head coach of ISU women's basketball, Charlie Turner-Thorne, she said it perfectly the other day. She said, we actually do better when we get shipped out. As shocking as that sounds, we're going across 3 time zones. We had the opportunity to play at home. She's like, I'm glad we're going away. We need to get away from like the chaos and everything and just focus and like lock in and like, and I mean, this is what March Madness is all about. I think that ASU will get bounced in the Sweet 16, which is heartbreaking, of course, because like I've been covering them all season. It's been so much fun. But
watch that they make it to the Final Four or something.
Oh my God! If they make the Final Four, I'm going to Tampa. I don't care how much it costs. I'll sell an organ on the black market if I have to. I would find a way to get there.
You have 2 kidneys. What's the other one for?
Exactly.
What's the other one for?
Exactly, but honestly,
we are not endorsing that you sell your kidney on the black market. By the way, please don't do that.
Yeah, please don't do that. Please
I don't even
don't.
know how to contact the black market, which is a good thing.
There are ways.
There are ways.
Oh, good Lord.
But
chaos.
But at
last thing, or sorry, go ahead.
At the end of it, I think UConn will end up making it to the Final Four. I also think Notre Dame will get there. But I cannot. And then I think Baylor will get there as well. But at the end of the day, I can't bet against Notre Dame. I can't bet against Erica Ngumbawale. She was the one who hit the 2 game winners last year. If you guys remember that.
She was on Dancing with the Stars too, right? Yeah.
She was on Ellen DeGeneres. She was on some Jimmy Fallon.
That's really good, Sarandon.
Thank you.
Yeah.
For you, no one could see it, but my terrible dance moves
just
pretended.
But last thing on the women's tournament before we go to that NCAA ad, if you've seen it, our friend Sarah Spain tweeted 14 hours ago that her bracket is perfect. Actually, I believe this is it is a women's bracket. Granted, 14 hours ago, she has Notre Dame winning. Just letting you know. And in her 3 men's brackets, she has North Carolina, Gonzaga, and Duke. Somehow she has the same points in all. So congrats, Sarah. You're kicking our butts.
100%.
But let's go to that NCAA ad. Have either of you seen it first?
I've been seeing it, and for the viewers out there that haven't seen it,
just
go
look up
on Twitter.
Just look up NCAA.
So if you go on Twitter and you look up the NCAA Twitter, and there's a video that says "Student and Athlete: A Day in the Life," and it's like this POV kind of camera on this basketball player's face throughout the entire day. So it starts with him like waking up, him going to class, like him having fun with his friends, him at practice, and then he like goes to bed, and it's just all happy and wholesome, and it's nothing realistic.
A lot of former players are either doing parodies or they're ripping into it,
right?
Saying like,
it
is accurate because he didn't eat.
At the end, it says like, if you have the talent and the drive, like we can provide you the opportunity or whatever, which is interesting. But it's really getting ripped on for not being, accurate and relatable to actual student athletes, because it doesn't show the 5 a.m. workouts or actually getting hard practices,
Getting yelled at by your
struggling,
coach.
getting yelled at by your coach, being late to class, or
Eating.
struggling to be
Well,
in
it
class.
doesn't show him eating, so it
food.
is somewhat accurate.
Yeah, no eating. And it's just, unrealistic for those student athletes who work so hard to be able to play for their school and to be able to, get a higher education. But it's, the amount of tweets about it. There's Richard Sherman saying, like, it's billionaires justifying not paying college athletes. Damon Sales saw this commercial, immediately thought this won't go over well with student athletes.
Yeah, and it hasn't.
Which hasn't. Like, it just, if you watch it, like, even I watched it and I was like, they're kind of glorifying it for what it really is, because these athletes, spend a lot of their time going to workouts, going to practices, going to class, and they don't really have time to just hang out with friends, which was like half the video was him like hanging out. And I was like, that's not true. Like,
Right, he was like happy awake the whole time. Like,
yeah.
Gabby, what are your thoughts?
Honestly, I've always tried to defend the NCAA. Like I've tried to defend the game itself, college athletics, the amateurity of it. I think it's a good thing that there is still some amateurism. There's that stepping stone between high school and pros. But this commercial kind of put me over the edge because it's not accurate. As somebody who, as sports journalists, we don't live that life, but we cover the kids who live that life.
And we're aware of it.
Yeah.
We go to those practices. We see what these kids are doing. We see how much work and effort they're putting into this.
Yeah.
And it's insane.
Honestly, I went to girls basketball practice the other day for Arizona State, right before they were going across the country to Coral Gables, Florida, to miss essentially 3 days of class to play in the NCAA tournament.
Right.
And when I was walking out of Wells Fargo Arena, they had just gotten done with like a 2-hour practice. All of them probably have work they have to get done because they're missing 3 days of class. What do I see? I see the starting center on Arizona State, Jarnae Johnson-Chapman, running laps around Wells Fargo Arena. It's 80 degrees outside. She's dressed in full sweatpants, running laps after practice the day before her last trip to the NCAA tournament. The amount of work that these athletes put in, the amount of training that they do, that was not exemplified nor shown in this commercial. And this idea that they're trying to glorify the NCAA, that they're trying to glorify the idea of like having a dream and chasing after it, it was very poor execution, I think.
Right. And I think what was funny, because this was one of the first tweets I saw about it when it first came out, and it was, the NCAA can't even hire a student athlete to be a part of this video because it would violate its own rules.
I saw that.
And I was like, wow. That's amazing and so true. Because if you know
incredible.
anything about the NCAA is that they cannot take, like, student athletes can't take money for any kind of promotion or any kind of, like, benefit, quote unquote, because, that would be against amateurism.
Yeah.
And so they couldn't, hire an actual student athlete because it was a benefit because you're getting your face out there and it's promoting you. And
you said, can you say Notre Dame forward again, her name?
Yeah, Erica Ngumbawale.
Thank you, her. She was on Dancing with the Stars last year, and she had to jump through a few hoops just to be on Dancing with the Stars. And NCAA was, quote unquote, gracious enough to let her actually do it. But, like you guys are saying, I'm just going to repeat it. Like, it's not accurate at all, and it's kind of a slap in the face because it makes it look like anyone can be an NCAA athlete.
Right.
I'm sorry, but you can't.
Especially not at
truth.
the D1 level.
Yeah, especially. And
I find
think it's just, and with March Madness, like, do you see how much money they are making off these kids right now?
I know.
Like 8 million, it might be billion, it's probably not, but like 8 million or something. And it's it's unprecedented that they see absolutely none of that. And the NCAA exploits them. I'm sorry. I will stand by it forever and ever. I've said it since I was a freshman in high school. NCAA is trash. And something needs to change.
Well, honestly, I think it's also interesting that the commercial uses a male athlete to portray what's going on across both male and female sports.
Right.
Because
I'm not going to go that far.
Yeah,
I don't know.
think it's more
I
of
don't
like
I don't see that
they
problem.
picked a male
I see
athlete.
it.
They picked a basketball to highlight basketball because
Yeah.
it's like during March
Madness.
Madness.
But that makes sense.
It
I
like
get that.
I'm not mad about that.
I'm not either.
Like
That's fine.
It's just to me,
It's
it's just like a
whatever.
little bit of a gender undertone is
Yeah,
all.
Yeah,
Like,
but
it-
if we do, see,
I don't know.
Here's the problem: if we do that with
everything.
everything, it's gonna be like, oh my god, why didn't they cast a female in this role? Why is it a male? Why is it this? Like, it's just not.
I don't know.
I think
We
It's-
can't. If we do that with everything, we're gonna be creating more problems than solving.
Unfortunately, in the society that we are in, it is still male dominated. And to get more eyes on to what the NCAA was trying to promote, they had to use a male athlete because March Madness on the men's basketball is extremely
Profitable.
more popular
Oh, yeah.
than women's side. Now, I'm not saying that the women's aren't fantastic. Obviously, UConn, we were just talking about how great they were. But, you know, when it comes down to how many more people are watching men's tournament versus the women's tournament, it's just numbers.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
All right.
All right.
Before we go to a quick break, just some MLB news. Mike Trout, massive deal, 12 years, $430 million to be an LA Angel for life. Absolutely insane amount of money. He changed his walk-up song, if you've heard.
Money.
Money. Do we have that song, by the way? Can you play
I
that?
don't think we have that
We
song.
might.
Look
But-
for it. But also, Ichiro Suzuki retires after his opener with the Seattle Mariners versus the A's, Oakland A's in Japan.
Which was
Very sad to see him
so cute.
Yeah.
And tears were coming from my eyes. And
Yeah.
one of my favorite parts was when G. Gordon tried to bow to him.
And
Which,
he
if
was
you
like,
guys
"No."
don't
Yeah.
if you guys don't know, bowing is like a huge sign of respect in the Japanese culture. So it's like you do it to your elders or to people who are of higher rank. So he tried to bow to him, and Ichiro was like, "Nah, man, we're hugging."
Yeah. So cute.
Oh,
Okay, quick question on the money song. There's like 3 or 4 songs that have money in it. There's one that's called Moneymaker, one that says Money for Nothing, another one that's just money, and then the last one is All That Money Wants. Do you
Hold
guys
on,
know what
I'm
song
looking
it
it-
is
I'm looking it up.
specifically?
it's definitely not.
Moneymaker's by the the Black Keys. My
No.
bad. Oh my goodness.
No, and it's not the second one that you said either.
The
Money for
song-
Nothing and Chicks for Free. Yeah, that's not it.
But anyways, I mean, speaking of money, this LA Angel, I mean, he's literally broken so many records with this deal. Like $440 million, 12
Insane
years.
amount of money.
I mean, I think I was talking to somebody in one of my classes earlier this week, and they were saying he's gonna make something crazy like it, and I don't know how.
$60,000 in that bat.
Yeah, $60,000 per
And
at bat.
Bat.
Per
to make-
at bat.
Yeah, that's just insane.
I think it's like $90,000 a game or something crazy like that. That was the number that he told me.
Let's just
but
not think about it because I'm
Yeah.
gonna be sad that
Yeah.
I can just play baseball, kids. Play baseball.
Yeah.
Get really good
Don't
at
do
it.
football.
Play baseball.
Play baseball.
yeah,
Kyler
baseball.
Murray.
Baseball, you get the
No, not
money
really.
without
He's
the
fine.
injury, without the head, without
And
the
you can
head
play
trauma.
longer.
You can play way longer.
All right,
All
we're
right.
gonna go to a really quick break again. When we come back, we're talking
ASU
oh my God.
baseball, ASU softball, because
We're
they're killing the game.
We're gonna recap that real quick. Talk a little bit of Talk a little bit NBA and what Kobe Bryant's doing, and NCAA women's swimming to finish it off. We'll be right back. Welcome back here into The Future is Female. I'm Nicole Pinter, Gabby Ducharme, Sarandon Raboin. To finish off here, Gabby, you want to talk about Kobe Bryant appearing on the cover of Slam magazine?
Yeah. Oh my lord. Kobe Bryant, he's got 3 daughters. Natalia, Gianna, and I believe the last one is named Bianca. His oldest one, Natalia, is like 16 now. And she's been playing basketball for a long time. Obviously, you're the daughter of Kobe Bryant. Kind of expected that you're probably going to play some form of basketball in your lifetime. And he appeared with his daughter and her AAU team on the cover of Slam magazine. Now, the magazine, I don't have it yet. I'm actually like literally ordering it today because I think it's so awesome. But basically, it's talking all about how Kobe is helping to grow women's basketball because he has 3 daughters, 2 of which have been playing very competitive club basketball since they were very young. They're still very young. I mean, his oldest is like 16 years old. And honestly, I think it just speaks volumes as to how the game is really growing because superstar former players and everything like that, they have kids, they have connections to the women's side of the sport, and he's coaching the sport, he's implementing the triangle offense, he's doing all these different things that he used to do in his career. And essentially, they dubbed it, quote, Mamba 101. So these girls are getting a crash course in what it means to have the Mamba mentality no matter what your gender is, which I think is huge in the sport of basketball.
Yeah.
I think is absolutely incredible.
Awesome things from Kobe Bryant. Hope he keeps doing that, which he will, for his daughters.
Oh, absolutely.
Should be great to see how it grows. Sarandon, you want to give us a quick recap on ASU baseball and ASU softball? Gabby, you too. You cover softball.
Right. So, ASU baseball, keyword, undefeated. Definition, no losses. I'm so sorry. I'm not funny.
You really just did that.
I really just did that.
You really just did
I'm
that.
really sorry to everyone listening that she just did that.
Hey.
I already apologized,
I'm
Nicole.
kidding.
I already apologized. I'm sorry.
I'm kidding. I'm
Okay.
kidding. Go on.
Anyway, ASU baseball is 21-0, like with 33 games left in the season. You know,
Wait, how many games?
33.
Oh my.
I
Okay.
know, but still, so they're almost halfway done, and yet to have a loss, which is pretty incredible.
Everyone
Knock
knock on wood.
Everyone knock on wood. But one of the huge reasons why is because their offense is thriving. Hunter Bishop is on an absolute tear. He has a 1.086 slugging percentage, which if you know anything about baseball means that is amazing.
He's really good.
He's really good.
And he's had 14 home runs this season when in the that like encapsulates like the last 2. Like as meant 2 seasons. Like I think he had here, let me pull up his stats.
So you're saying
last year he had 5 home runs. The year before that, he had 5 home runs. This year, he has 14 home runs.
Oh, that's ungodly.
He
wow.
is
Through 21 games.
insane so far. He's doing so well. And it's literally, to me, so if you guys follow ASU baseball, which you should because they're doing really well right now and they're really fun to watch, Spencer Torkelson was the main star last year. He was, Pac-12 player. He was one of the he took ASU baseball and put it on the map because he had a career number of home runs. I think he broke the record. And so he is batting second in the lineup right now. And so pitchers are now trying to pitch around Torkelson, and he's still getting at bats. He's still hitting singles. Not as many home runs as he had last year, obviously, because when you don't have as good pitches to hit, you're not going to hit as well. Mm-hmm. But Hunter Bishop is coming up behind him, and he is the dark horse, and so he's just been killing it because these pitchers are pitching around Spencer, and now they have to face Hunter. And what's key is that the ASU baseball team, everyone is hitting really well. So we have players that haven't hit their first home run of their career at ASU, and they're hitting them this season. They have, Gage Workman had 2 home runs in one game. Sam Farrelly had a home run, a walk-off to win against Washington State, and he had a monster bat flip, which you probably saw on the Pac-12 Twitter. So I'm just saying, watch ASU baseball. Even if you're not a baseball fan, they are so fun to watch because they're just hitting the ball like crazy, and it's just exciting.
Yeah.
And not only are they hitting good, is that their pitching is phenomenal. Alex March has been doing really well. RJ Davovich and Boyd has been doing really well. So, just go out to Phoenix Muni. It's beautiful. It's like spring training that never ends.
It's sunny out.
Get a tan. Tickets are cheap. It's like $13 to sit behind home plate. Do it.
And you can do that today and tomorrow. Today they play.
No, they're at Oregon.
My bad.
No, do it next week when they play U of A.
Yes.
Ooh,
Play U
no
of A
pity
next
for the kitty.
Friday.
No.
next Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Today, they do play at Oregon. You can watch on the Oregon live stream. They play at 4. Gabby, you want to give us a quick rundown on ASU softball?
Wow, ASU softball.
Who you can go watch today.
Yes,
you can.
today.
I'm gonna be at that game today, actually, covering it for the Walter Cronkite Sports Network, which is gonna be awesome. I'm gonna put it this way: this team was not supposed to be doing as well as they are.
Right.
They have an all-new pitching, an all-new pitching core. They lost all of their girls last year, either to graduation.
Juarez was a huge transfer.
She transferred to Oklahoma. She transferred to the team that they lost
She just
to
pitched
in the NCAA tournament.
A perfect game, was it?
A perfect game?
Was it a perfect game or a no-hitter?
I
I'm going to
don't
look
know.
it up. You keep talking about ASU softball. I'm going to look it up.
Well, honestly, this team, they're relying on 2 pitchers right now. Abby Anderson, she's a freshman, and then Samantha Mejia, she's a junior, but she's a junior transfer from Fresno State. So these are 2 essentially brand new pitchers on the mound. Both girls are absolutely dominating. ASU's hitting is off the charts. The Hackbarth sisters, Maddie Hackbarth, Kendra Hackbarth. Maddie Hackbarth, she has 13 home runs on the season. They're 23-8 right now. They've played about 30 games thus far. This team is leading the country in scoring, hitting about, I think they average about 8.33 runs per game. It's off the charts numbers. They put up 31 runs in 3 days last weekend against Washington State, against Oregon State to open up Pac-12 play. Abby Anderson, the freshman, she came within like 1 hit or something like that, or she was 1 hit away from pitching a perfect game in her Pac-12 debut against Oregon State. Just absolutely ungodly numbers that this team is putting up. They're honestly really, really fun to watch. I highly recommend start following ASU softball because they're absolutely dominating. And after everybody that they lost last season, they lost G. Juarez. Sarandon, what's the update?
I didn't find anything because I think I lied about that. So sorry.
It's okay.
She did throw a couple of no-hitters when she was at ASU. I think she's redshirting this year, which is why.
That makes sense.
Is able to play at Oklahoma. But ASU is ranked number 18 in the country.
Yeah, doing great things. And you can go watch them today.
Yeah.
Got that one right, 2:30.
Farrington Field in Tempe, Arizona.
Which is gorgeous if you haven't been. It's so pretty.
It's absolutely beautiful. I love Farrington so much. It's kind of small, and it's just the environment, the atmosphere of the game. It's just such a classic softball vibe that you really do get. And
some palm trees, some nice mountains, a good sunset every now and then.
So go watch ASU softball.
Go watch ASU softball. Yeah.
Now, quick recap. We've got women's NCAAs. Today is the final day. Morning session has wrapped up. They're at University of Texas at Austin. Amazing pool. ASU does have a relay going into the finals tonight. 15th, 400 free relay, 3:14:41. Cameron Curry, Fanny, I'm so sorry about your names. Fanny, I'm not going to say your last name. Emma Norden and Sierra Runge. I hope I pronounced that right. I'm very sorry. And even harder, Kansikowski, her last name, represented ASU in the 200 breast, touching the wall at 2:08.95 for 18th place. She's a second alternate going into tonight. That's ASU at NCAA Women's Swimming. More than ASU, though, we did have Sierra Runge actually take 4th in the 500 free, 4:35.39. She was first going into the prelims. Awesome swim for her. Watching her, she's dominated the 500 free all season, and she's had tough tests too. It hasn't been easy. Stanford has been dominating this year's NCAAs. They're currently
no
leading.
Surprise there.
Yeah,
Surprise there whatsoever.
Cal's in second, Michigan's in third right now, going into the final night. Stanford in the first night took first in the 800 free relay, despite Brooke Ford swimming an extra 50. She was just cooling down.
I love it. I love that.
She did take first in the 500, which you do have a counter for, so you're fine. 4:31.34, awesome swim for her. We've seen so many American records go down. Ella Easton winning the 400 IM, and I believe she is first going into the... Oh, wow, I have to look.
And she's
first going into the 200 fly tonight at 1:51.02.
She made history by winning that 400 IM. That's the 4th straight time she's won that. So
And it's
freshman year through senior
not even
year.
her best time. She went 3:57.03. Her best time's a 3:54 something.
And to give y'all some perspective, your girl over here, I can't swim a 200 in that time. 200 freestyle, may I add, not 400 IM.
So
400 IM is all
really
4
fast.
strokes.
Lily King takes the 100 breaststroke for a 4th straight year, 55.73. Absolutely insanity in the 100 breast. Beta Nelson took the 100 back in a new American record, 49.18. USC's Louise Hansen won the 100 fly in a new record, 49.29. Abby Weitzel tied Simone Manuel for the fastest 50 free split ever, 20.45. And Stanford, of course, in the lead going into the final day. ASU is 21st at the moment with a relay going into a B final. So a lot of fast swimming we're seeing from NCAA women's. The men's is next week. I'll be back next week with a quick recap for that. Also in Austin. Just a lot of fast swimming. Congrats to the ASU women's swimming and diving team on a fantastic season.
That's awesome.
Yeah, that is awesome. They have such a long season.
Oh,
it is a
swimming
long season.
So long.
I think it's from what, like November to March?
August.
August.
First week of school.
Yeah.
August to March.
It is really, really long.
Well,
so you taper for like a mid-season meet, and then you just get back into it.
Here's the
maybe training trip, but you're in Arizona, so you don't need to do a training trip.
My cousin swims in Wisconsin, and she does a training trip to Hawaii.
That's so nice.
Well, here's the thing about, like, I see some of these names, and, like, I see Abby Weitzel tying Simone Manuel. Simone Manuel was the Olympic gold medalist in the 50 free in 2016.
Weitzel's Olympian, too.
Weitzel was an Olympian. You're right.
Same
You're
with
right.
Runge.
What's it called? What's it called?
Same with Ella Easton. Same with Lily King.
Lily King is famous for the finger wagging. On the Russian swimmer who supposedly was like taking PEDs and stuff like that during the Olympic Games.
Yes. So amazing swimming from NCAA's. Again, congrats to ASU. Congrats to all the women swimmers there.
Yeah.
I'll be back for a men's recap next week. But that's going to do it for us. Go watch ASU softball, ASU baseball, undefeated.
Yeah.
Watch basketball, March Madness.
Yeah. Watch basketball.
Pray for your brackets.
Yep.
But that's going to do it.
Or shred them.
Shred them.
Either one.
I don't know. Up to you. That's going to do it for Gabby Ducharme, Sarandon, Raboin, and myself, Nicole Pinter. We'll see you next week for The Future is Female.
Bye.